Hey everyone, it's Dan here from blockchaindu.com, and today we've got a special guest. Scrypt Skynet's with us. We're going to be chatting about Digibyte, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and anything else that comes up. So yeah, if Scrypt, if you want to introduce yourself and maybe give us a little bit about how you got involved with A, Digibyte, and B, just crypto in general.
Yeah, this is a fun story. So I came back from work one night, and it was like a Friday night, and my roommate, he comes busting in through the door and says, I got the answer, you know? And I was like, all right, chill out, what? And he was saying, all the money's being made in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about, you know? And so he's like, yeah, basically imaginary coins. You can invest in them and then you'll get a return. Like, I go, you mean like stocks? He's like, yeah, but it's not what you think. So he called it Bitcoin. I was like, okay, so what's Bitcoin? And this is 2017.
Uh-huh.
And this is right around, you know, when it was $6,000. And he was showing me on Coinbase. And so I look at it. I'm confused. I don't invest in anything, you know, except, you know, my house and car and, you know,
So you
just
didn't have
things
any,
I like to do.
You weren't involved in any stocks or anything before?
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yep.
That's the funny thing. But he told me this wild story that his brother's co-worker invested $15,000 in Litecoin, Tron, and all these cryptocurrencies I've never heard of, and he's making a ton of money. And so I was watching this thing called Bitcoin, and I wanted to see some videos on it, so I scoured YouTube, you know, see what's up with Bitcoin, and didn't really get to like the origins of it, but like to watch live charting of where it's at. So basically the market cap and all that, and just the movements. And I finally found you know, Coinbase Pro, and some charts on there, and this thing was just going crazy. I mean, it started going from 6,000 to 8,000, you know, out of nowhere. And by that time, I already invested 600 in Litecoin.
Right.
And so I saw Litecoin go up, you know, and you know, my portfolio for Litecoin was like 900 and then 1,000 from $600.
Yep.
And so I just left it alone, but we called his brother and my roommate. We all watched this chart, and we saw the all-time highs that night when it, you know, went to 19 grand, you know. We were just amazed. It looked like the book order. It looked like the book order was gobbling up these prices.
Yeah, yeah.
And the candle was just mooning.
Yeah.
And that's the best way you can describe it. It was literally just chopping away green, you know. So that's how I got introduced to it.
Top. So
yeah, right at the top, and I sold my Litecoin for $900 because it went back down, and but it kept me wanting more.
Sure. Because
I started watching like some YouTubers about, you know, TA, and this could get long. Okay, Dan.
Yeah, that's all right.
I was wrapping my head around, okay, well, if it's going down and I don't know how to short and I don't know the lingo, I don't know anything at this point. It was just a fluke that I made, you know, $300, you know. But so I wanted to know more about it. Watch YouTubers, watch TA. I started, the first thing that popped out on, to me was mining. And those like GPU mining, I didn't understand it. I'm not a computer whiz, you know. You know, some people say it's not rocket science, but if you don't know nothing about computers, let me tell you something. You really have to get into it and understand it.
Yeah.
And I was determined to understand it. And in fact, it affected me. It affected my day-to-day living at work. I needed to get to know it, how to mine. I wanted to mine Litecoin. And that was my journey. So I started doing some more research and started getting some L3 plus miners, Scrypt algorithm miners.
Yep.
And that's where you get that name, because I joined a Discord. I found a guy named Keith on YouTube. He was talking about making money off mining on a mining pool,
Yep.
getting paid out rewards in Litecoin, practically 100%. Like all the other mining pools that you see out there, they charge you quite a bit of percentage and then give you what's left, right?
Yeah, so yeah.
So I stumbled on P2 Pool, which is 100% return on your payments on the block that we mine together and we divide.
Yep.
But I bought 3 of those machines. The first machine was $2,200. The second machine was $1,800, and the third machine was $900.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, and the value of them were going down. Then I entered myself into, this the hashing debacle where, all the understanding the halving and and the rewards and the energy level that it takes. That cost me $600 a month to run 3 miners.
Yeah, they're ASIC miners you had there?
Yeah, I still have them.
Yeah, right.
I still have them,
Yep.
and they're running.
Yep.
They're running. They're mining Digibyte right now, but it cost me $600 a month.
Wow. Yeah. Yep.
And each machine is getting me about 48 Digibyte. For a while, it was like 150 Digibyte each machine.
Per machine per day or
per payout.
Per pay.
Every time it paid out, like it paid out 5 to 8 times a day.
Nice.
So yeah, so Keith, the captain on Discord that was mining Litecoin, had a bunch of pools. Now I had to understand pools and addresses to which miner or what my miner can mine off these pools. So I can mine Mooncoin, Feathercoin, Litecoin, and Digibyte. And once I started learning about Digibyte, that's kind of how I got sucked into Digibyte, and just understanding what Digibyte is.
Yep.
So my roommate to this day, I convinced him, since he's the one that brought it to me, I convinced him, let's go mining, let's go 50-50 on these miners, let's pay whatever the electricity is. We ran these things for half a year, and he just calls them Satan. He's like, I'm just feeding Satan, because the cost is just so crazy, but I can afford it. I can afford the cost. So he got out, and I bought the miners away from him. At this time, miners only cost $200. I'm sitting here giving my roommate half of what he put in, because he used credit cards,
Yeah.
So he's still kind of bitter about it.
Yep.
But yeah, no, those machines are still running today.
Yeah, nice. That's good. And they're still, so you're still getting regular Digibyte payouts, obviously, from those.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm solo mining right now.
Yep. Nice.
So solo mining's paying better.
Yeah. Well, I've been meaning to get this video up on the FPGA I got, which is sitting right here actually. So I got got one of the D10 Nanos, and I did get it set up and running, just the one, but I was only getting around about 10 to 14 Digibyte a day with pool. That was just on a basic pool. But I'm going to set it up again. I might even get another one and go solo and see how long it takes to get some blocks.
Now, when you say basic pool, you mean like a pool that's already provided, or?
There's a. I had it up before. There was on the Digibyte wiki. There's just a basic FPGA mining guide, and then there's on the Digibyte awareness team site. There's just a list of pools, and there was one on there. I just grabbed it to test it. So I need to do a little bit more testing with it, but it's been fun, like getting it set up and, you know, seeing. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Consider, I mean, I had to pay. It was US dollars, and obviously the exchange rate is pretty crap for us right now. But for about
how much are one of those?
This was 220 Australian. So I think you guys could probably get them for like $130, I reckon, at a guess.
Okay, so yeah.
I think it's.
And what's the energy usage on it? Very minimal.
Yeah, 8 watts. It's nothing.
Really? See, that's what we need to start doing. We just need to go auto-crypt.
Exactly. I mean, it's going to be. I know the black miner. Yeah, I think I saw someone on. I'm in one of the Telegram chats for the mining, and one of the black miners. I think someone on there was getting consistent solo, like mining block solo on there when it first started with when Odo first came out. So I have to check back in and see how they're going now. But I mean, as you know, Odo's going to be the way of the future.
Well, it's one of those same machines. I mean, from like ant miners, the ant mining machines. It's one of the big energy suckers.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
the black miner, there's a. Let me just look it up. It's an FPGA though. I think it does about 120 watts. Black
okay.
Mini. Yeah, it's a smaller one. I'll put a link in the description.
Yeah, do that.
Well, so that's how you got in, and then once you found Digibyte, you sort of no looking back.
Well, it caused me to look further into other cryptos as well.
Yeah.
But I stumbled onto a gold mine within my Discord, looking for other alternatives to mine, like Mooncoin, Feathercoin. But I looked up Mooncoin and Feathercoin. I really didn't. I was like, what is this? You know, it's just, for me, it was just, I think Feathercoin was a better option than Mooncoin, but I didn't really get into all that. So when I looked up Digibyte.io, I was just sold, you know.
Yep.
So I did look into others. Like I was really into this ICO ECC for privacy and protection.
Yep.
Just being able to protect your own data.
Yep.
But it was a different way. It was just like an extension chain. So it was just a different one of those Ethereum things, you know.
Like an ERC20 token.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah.
It's just it reached like, I don't know, like a penny and a quarter or a third or something, but it went right back down. But anyway, so I got some money wrapped up in that, and but once it kind of after the second wave down in Bitcoin, ECC just got wiped off, you know. People are holding that.
Yeah, all the way.
All the way. I was still mining Digibyte. I'm buying Digibyte and Litecoin on the way down that whole Bitcoin drop.
Yep. Nice.
So
when you obviously when you first saw Digibyte and you jump on that website, there's just so much to take in, isn't there? Like, it's not just that. You know, there's obviously the Digibyte as the token, but then there's just all these other things that are so freaking awesome. Like the guy Jared Tate.
Yeah. He was impressive. I was watching McAfee, and he was impressive too, but he was kind of like a, you know, like a Lone Ranger, like just a crazy person, basically. But when he talked, he was very just his intellect was deep, kind of like Cliff Hyde, but you know, Cliff Hyde's really out there. I don't know how that's waters is swimming with Cliff Hyde's brain right there. But when you saw Jared Tate, he was presenting it plain and understandable, where everybody can understand it. But everybody in the crowd was like, okay, so how can we, you know? And Jared's like, next. I just explained this next.
Yeah.
Very professional.
Yep. Yeah. The whole thing, I think, it still surprises me so much how many people don't like realize how good of a project it is, and they're just it's just unfathomable really how many people don't even consider like looking at it, you know. But I guess a lot of the time people jump on CoinMarketCap and they don't even get that far down the list. They get hooked up in these bits and pieces at the top, and then it's just they don't even get down there until.
Well, I think they have viewed it. It's just they never really looked into it deeper because we're all different parts of walks of life, where others got into Bitcoin Cash, others completely sold on Litecoin, which I was a really great advocate for in my own brain and heart, that Litecoin was it, but slowly but surely, there's only going to be a handful that really believe in the three UTXO blockchains, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Digibyte. There's only going to be a handful. I mean, you can't find people to agree on Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, or Bitcoin and Litecoin, or Digibyte and Bitcoin. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy.
Yep.
But many walks of life find themselves in the blockchain of communities, and they're stuck there.
Yeah.
And their bags are packed, But I purposely, I knowingly, my bags are packed with Digibyte.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, I have Litecoin, Bitcoin, and some other cryptos that I kind of got stuck with.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I got stuck with Litecoin. I'm just saying I got stuck with some other bags like ECC that was like security level. Just cool stuff. You can look up ECC, the security coin on YouTube. It's actually quite impressive. Mm-hmm. And I got on the Discord with those guys, and they know what they're talking about, but they kept losing their some developers, and then they had to hire some developers to develop the chain, and basically it's a message system based on staking. Mm-hmm. And so the more coins you have, the more you stake and confirm the transactions to receive ECC tokens. Uh-huh. But what the ECC does, it was called Sphinx, I believe, either Sphinx,
right,
something like that. But what it did was, it was a wallet that you were able to send your transactions instead of a long address with a name. Like you're sending it to your friend with a name or a private name, or you just wouldn't know who it is. And there's no attachment. But in the staking realm, you don't know what's going on there, unless if you're the programmer themselves, you don't know what kind of limitations you have.
Sure. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I think there's so many elements to success for these projects. Like you just mentioned, they lost a few developers, and then that goes down, and then all of a sudden, there's no work being done on it, and you hear all this stuff about Litecoin, what's happening now, and that same sort of thing. There's just so many elements to get it right. You got to have the right people and just the right marketing. I think marketing's one thing that just a lot of projects fail with, and I think that's one awesome thing as well about Digibyte is, the community members are so good at pushing it. Exactly right.
I got my Digibyte hat on.
Where'd you get that? They don't sell any Digibyte.
Bantam.
Was it straight from
crypto Bantam?
I'm gonna have to look that up. I wonder if he ships out here to Australia.
I'm pretty sure they do. It's probably gonna cost you more.
Yeah, I'm used to that.
I don't know. But yeah, it was the rooster.
Yep.
Icon on Bantam.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, Digibyte, I think their marketing, or the project's marketing as a whole is really professional. It seems like you look at a lot of projects and it's just the marketing, which is not really marketing, is just garbage, really. I mean, you got guys like Amon doing these videos, and they're awesome. I don't know. What do you think?
I think the marketing on Digibyte is behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's not so much, oh, look at us, we're Digibyte, we're still in the glory.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, I have nothing against other projects. I really don't. I could have fell in Bitcoin Cash, but I didn't. So, but I mean, it's behind the scenes. It's a proven technology that keeps pushing forward and getting faster. And it doesn't need to showboat itself. But what the community does is it lays down the facts. And sometimes people don't like the facts because facts hurt. And but there's a limitation with facts. You can it's kind of like, you know, a Christian going around beating people up with the King James Bible, you know, hacking off their arms and the legs. But the mission was to get them saved, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same thing with the DigiByte community and the facts. We just need to, you know, kind of nudge people, you know, hey, here's some facts, you know. It doesn't have to be, hey, here it is.
Yeah.
Just privately or just behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where it's being successful.
Just keep, and it's pushing the same message, isn't it? Like, here's the you know, like something new comes out, DigiAssets, but you're pushing that same message. Everyone's talking about the same thing. You know, it's consistent as well.
Now, for me, it blows my mind. I'm ready to hype this thing up and go to the moon, right? Just like, you know, the crypto mug investors, you know, they get me excited every time I watch them. They're like, we're going to the moon, you know. I'm like, woo!
Yeah.
So
it's only a matter of time. Yeah, I mean, price will do what it will do, but yeah, I think all the fundamentals are there, and it's only, you know, it's just crazy. I was playing with the Antem ID stuff the other day. Have you used the
Antem ID and, you know, like Antem password, or is that DigiPassword?
With DigiID. So there's a browser plugin. You can also, I mean, I run a few WordPress websites. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the WordPress platform.
Is that working through Google, the browser?
A little bit differently. So it's set up on, I have a host that I run a few websites with, but now I've switched everything over to DigiID, so I'm just logging in, just like point your phone at the screen, and you're logged in, you're in the back end, and you know, you can write code and things that way, like no more passwords. Like, and I work in IT like 9 to 5, and we deal with this stuff all the time. Like, this security is just, yeah, it's getting worse.
It's funny how you mentioned security. I don't know how it is out in Australia. Who picks up the security laws out there?
It's a mixture.
Do they have like the outback kangaroo law fighters out there?
Not really. No, not quite.
Oh, okay.
A lot of it's government regulated. Is that what you mean? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, so I have, not to interrupt you or anything,
yep, go for it.
But if that's the case, I'm going to lay this out for you,
yeah,
and all your viewers and whoever is watching this, okay? This is something I stumbled onto, and I had absolutely no idea what was going on. I mean, you see it on TV, on CNN,
yeah,
these bickerings, these arguments with the microphone, and they got their court tables, and they're all dressed in black, and they're all, you know, and there's absolutely no agreement or no clue what's going on, and everybody's trying to hold their peace and their corner, you know, saying we're right, no, we're right, no, the people don't know, who cares if the people knows. But there's some facts here I want to lay out about the United States of America's security data. All right, now what got me going was Rudy was talking about on the last tweet that I saw yesterday. He was talking about how DigiID and like VID, it's a GDPR compliant. So it's the EU has private data protection right for individuals. So it doesn't, it puts a law on businesses and to respect the people's privacy.
Yep.
So if like, you know, in anything, like in healthcare or you know, labor, that person's identity, when the person leaves, if you fire them or they leave or they decide to choose a different healthcare, that data goes with that person no matter what, and they erase it.
Yep.
Now that's what we need in America.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the EU's got this figured out with the GDPR. Okay.
Yes.
Now that's amazing. I was like, okay, well, I'm surely the United States has something better than that, right?
Uh-huh.
Heck no. Okay, let me just read here, and if I, speak some words, forgive me, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, in the U.S., security of personal data is a patchwork of existing protections, okay? The United States lacks a single comprehensive federal law that regulates the collection and use of personal information. Instead, the government has approached privacy and security by regulation only certain sectors and types of sensitive information, of health and financial, creating overlapping and contradictory protections. The Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, the HIPAA, the United States Primary Health, Privacy and Security Law, only applies to covered entities. Holding protection health information, federal regulations or regulators acknowledge that most Americans have no grasp of when their health info and records are protected by law and when it's not. Now, let's go earlier for security in the U.S. The school health records are generally covered by the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, the FERPA, which was enacted in 1974, which existed in physical files before digital iClouds. But FERPA, in turn, intersects with and sometimes conflicts with COPPA, C-O-P-P-A, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which does protect data, but only of children under 13. See what's some overlapping issues going on. Now, after thousands of data breaches, smaller entities start getting involved, collecting cyber data. So individual states pick up this task, and when trying to protect the citizens, they get pushed back. Section 5 of the FTC Act, the Federal Trade Commission, attempting to establish a data security baseline, but have limited jurisdiction over banks, insurance companies, nonprofit entities, and even some internet service providers. All this is a tug of war between juggernauts, and our security is hanging in the balance. I don't know where you hang in all that, but if Australia is following this plan, it's in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I need to do some more research on specifics, but we definitely don't have anything like the EU, and I am familiar with that because when I was working on a website, what I was just telling you about before on the WordPress website is you need to be compliant even when running a website from anywhere with that, because if you've got users in the EU, you've got to comply with that. If they opt out of your site, you got to delete that data, or it's
you gotta let them go.
Exactly right, and it's big fines too. Like, it's not just
hefty fines.
Yeah. So it sounds like from what you just read, then there's just, like you mentioned, overlapping everywhere. No one even know. You wouldn't even know.
I mean, from 13 until you admit yourself for health issues, basically the police, if you get in trouble, the police have private records of you that they will not give up. And there's so many backdoors and security issues and data cyber breaches that, what the problem is with the U.S. is they give companies that collect personal data from their customers the opportunity to do what's right. And that's why we have the liberty of the United States citizens, the trust and freedom and how brave we are. But stand-up citizens, the truth of the matter is all that's down in the gutter because people are just making money, like social networks, off our data.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, no one's doing the right thing, and if there is, trust me, it's a mom and pa cafe serving you coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. So there, I know here there is law. If you know that you've been breached, you're obligated.
There is a law, yes,
to let people know. Is that something similar in the US? I assume.
It's a Federal Trade Commission.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's a baseline for America. They have to, companies have to let you know. Like Capital One, they let me know that they're, breached.
Mm-hmm. But that's as far as
there's like, here's a solution, right?
But they don't. If they just tell you they've been breached, they don't tell you if they know your data's been stolen. Do they have to tell you that, or
they do?
They do.
They have to tell you that our data's been copied, stolen, emails, but they won't tell you the specifics.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So
But they're compliant to tell you that your security is in danger.
Yeah. 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 So you see Digibyte, or that Digibyte solution as the
EU's got it right.
Solution.
The EU sees DigiID and verification files a problem solver, a solution for individuals. They have the power. So I don't know if the U.S. will ever give the power to the American people for their own identity.
Yep.
It seems to be they're really against, the U.S. regulators are really against privacy coins, because just on the fact that, well, enemies and bad guys and, unfit people are wanting to keep their transactions private. But, when exchanges become compliant to U.S. regulations, it weakens your security, and it gives up more info on the person that's exchanging or trading or selling it. So everything's tracked on the blockchain. You can't escape it.
Yeah. So these
and the feds know it.
Yeah.
They've actually used. I've watched something like TED Talks about this lady talking about she worked on the blockchain, and tracked these people down Silk Road, and caught them all on the blockchain, and it records what exchange they're going to. You can't escape the blockchain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if the United States are fearful from privacy coins protecting full privacy, but I mean, if you really come down to it, those privacy coins, most of them are one algo.
Yep.
And they can crack it. It just takes a lot of manpower and wealth to do it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So where do you, just looking at our topics here, that sort of ties into, adoption as a whole. Where do you see, I guess, crypto adoption as a whole going into 2020 and beyond?
It's going to be a hard one here, because we consider adoption to be widely accepted. It's for the masses. For everybody's going to be using it on their Samsung phone, but here's the thing: it's a war for security and for your personal data, and it will always be that way. They want to know what you're thinking. They want to know what what you believe in your heart. If they could, they want to dissect you. So the power of Digibyte, if the governments were wise, they would use it. I mean, it's a phenomenal technology that everybody can benefit. And I mean, the reaches of it, I was watching one of Chilling Silence's early videos about, that doorbell that has a video camera on it. You can there's an app you can look on your phone and see the mailman, knock on the door and the dog's barking and everything.
Yep.
That's cool, but all that can be hacked.
For sure.
Yep. But he was trying. I believe he was trying to make something with a protocol with Digibyte to be able to control it yourself. And even with landlords, you can actually let certain people, if you had tenants, use that same code or individual codes because it's running off the Digibyte blockchain. So each individual could have their own personal code to get into their front building.
Yep.
That's just one of the technologies there, and just you use it right, with your wallet, your Digibyte wallet. So everything's going to be on your phone. If not your phone, if you want to go deeper in the conspiracies, the chip.
Yeah.
It's going to change everything.
Yeah, exactly. And the amount of IoT devices like doorbells like that, down to smart refrigerators, everything's smart, everything's going to be, covered by your phone, linked into your phone. And you're right, security is like the number one priority, but it seems like it's just sort of swept under the rug. No one, it's not talked about at all.
Well, and the main thing is a lot of people do not understand what's going on right now. They don't know what the battle is.
Yep.
They don't know what's going on. I mean, they're living their lives obliviously with, the old system.
Yep.
They think, oh yeah, I'm free, to do whatever I want. It's not wrong until I get caught. But that's how everybody plays it. But when you put everybody on the blockchain, all that goes away.
Yep. Yep.
All of it goes away. And, the benefits of the blockchain system here within, 15 to 20 years, a lot of people are going to trust it so much that it's going to make their lives easier, and they're going to be the next, Leonardo da Vinci or whatever,
Yeah.
They're going to have a lot more free time. Most people want to, get a yacht and drink and party all night long and be that guy, but not me.
Yeah. Not for you?
Mm.
Do you think that it'll, as countries outside the US just continue to accept blockchain technology, do you think eventually it'll just come to a point where there's no choice and they'll just have to follow?
Kind of like accepting the mark of the beast, so to speak. Well, for the rest of everybody, well, I believe that technology will surge somewhere else in the United States. Mm-hmm. It's already surging in Jerusalem, China. I think a lot of mainstream that the United States knows about. The United States, the Americans think they're first in everything. Well, this thing's running away from them. They might understand how to track something on Bitcoin and the blockchain, and they might have a whole team on it right now. They might be entrenched with it with Jerusalem. But the thing is technology is not going to come from the United States. It's going to come from another country that is going to be implemented to our political system. And yeah, then we'll just be swayed right in.
Interesting. It's interesting listening to your point of view. Like, as a whole, I think Australia does sort of follow suit with what you guys are doing, but we're obviously like 20 million people is nothing compared to, how many people are in the US. So we sort of just float along behind you guys in a lot of aspects.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I haven't got anywhere. I've been to California, and I was born there. I've been to Massachusetts, Boston, and Florida. Love Florida. Texas, Vegas, Colorado, Washington, or even Hawaii. But I've never really. Ever since blockchain, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm a Christian and I study the Bible, and the the more studying I do in the Bible and with like-minded people with the Bible, I find myself in that same world, in that same family with the Digibyte community.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when I first came on, I was talking about holding people accountable for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have Digibyte blockchain. It should be untarnished. It's a standard. This thing should be all around the world. I mean, it should be lifted high.
Yeah.
It fights for everything that we believe in, and that's what I got a family just like it in my church, that we believe in the Word of God and we hold it high.
Mm-hmm. So the only other thing I did want to ask you about was, we've talked about DigiID and Digibyte as a whole, but the Digi assets and how they might play into to adoption as a whole. I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
Did you get that hot potato yet?
I actually started the hot potato, so I
what?
I sent this one out over to Josiah. So yeah, I had it up before actually. I started with that Digi assets. There on the Digibyte wiki, on the Digibyte GitHub, there's the protocol, like the Digi assets protocol is hosted there, and there's a little bit of a getting started guide. So I was just playing around with it, and then I figured out I could just make my own assets with.
Because you got an Android.
Yeah, I've got an Android, but I was writing them with some JavaScript like code, and I just started.
Oh yeah, because you're a professional, man. You're a professional. I didn't know that.
So
someone needs to hire you.
What's that?
Someone needs to hire you.
Maybe.
You need to be able to put yourself out there with the Digibyte core team.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I would love. But I mean, yeah. So I come up with that. I flicked it over to Josiah, because Josiah actually got me into to get me started on those assets, and then I ended up at the GitHub, and he helped me through a couple of issues I was having, and then yeah, we just went from there. And I'm not sure if you've seen his website that just come out.
Yes.
He put up the YouTube video today. He's create a Digi asset website. That's going to be.
See, I haven't been able to watch that one. I was on the road and coming to St. Louis. So, oh yeah, by the way, I'm here in St. Louis because I'm going to the Bitcoin Bang Crypto World Tour, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but
yep.
I guess everybody was filming themselves with corn behind them, saying, "Hey, I'm out here." Clint Eastwood, I guess his name was, he invited me to come out there because I asked about the Digibyte community, maybe a coffee meetup or something. He was the first one that reached out. Laura, she reached out to me as well, and how you can develop a team, for Digibyte in your community. But I was like, you know what? Until there's Digibyte people around me in Kansas City, I'll go to St. Louis and join the corn huskers. No, that's Nebraska. The other corn people.
So that's where you're headed tomorrow?
Yeah.
Awesome. That'll be good.
That's why I'm here in this hotel.
Yeah, I've seen a few bits and pieces from Ben on some meetups he's had before, so I think you'll enjoy it. It should be good.
Yeah, so it's just a crypto meetup, and for kids left in the middle or something like that, about divorced parents and all that. So I think it's going to be cool. Some people are drinking. I won't be drinking. I don't know how long I'll stay, but I'll definitely make my presence known, and because they invited me, and so. But that's why I'm out here. I mean, it's cool to get involved with stuff like that, and I represent Digibyte and for myself, because I own Digibyte, and Digibyte doesn't own me.
Yep, you fly the flag.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's pretty cool.
So there's obviously a heap of people be out there, like different. So Ben's obviously involved in Bitcoin, Litecoin. I think he likes Digibyte as well, but there's different and people.
Yeah, I mean, I watched him a couple of times, like a long time ago. Okay, so we mentioned YouTubers, and oh yeah, I went from Crypto Zombie, Crypto Crow. I mean, I still occasionally watch Crypto Crow. In fact, I quoted one of his lines today on this video. But and then Bitcoin Ben and there's quite a few crypto capital venture. I still watch. I watch his stuff. Anyway, there's a lot of people I watch. So.
And there's
and he was one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Early on.
I like his videos are good. He's he tells it like it is.
He's a trucker, ain't he?
Yeah, trucker. Yeah. Yep.
He's trucking along. I mean, he's doing something there. I won't know any of that movement until I get there. You know, so that's why I kind of adopted in my thinking, my foreknowledge of Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Digibyte. I'm for that.
Yep. Yeah, agree. Yep. So just back on the assets then. So now that I mean, Josiah's site is going to make it like you're going to be able to create your own assets in like 10 seconds. You punch in all the info. You got the wallet once the iOS wallet is set up for the Digi assets. It's going to be crazy. People are going to be doing some good stuff.
I believe so. I'm going to just be careful what I, create, but, I've already had my thoughts out there for my business. Once I fully own it,
yep.
I have a partner that I can, he doesn't like, he invests in stocks. He doesn't like crypto. So every time I talk to him about it, he doesn't understand. It goes way over his head, and that's okay. But I told him, I was like, dude, one Litecoin made me $1,000. He's like, what do you mean? What is it? What is it? And I'm like, dude, just calm down.
Yeah.
And I explained to him, right? And he's like, whatever, dude. Like, he totally ignored the fact that I said, hey, I made profitable gains on it. And you're looking at 3% gains, He was putting money in these stocks, and it just kept dropping. He didn't even understand. He doesn't even understand. He was just putting the money in there, basically dollar cost averaging down. He didn't even know that term. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He's just every week he's just putting money in there and doesn't know why. He's thinking, oh, I'm investing for my kids can have a future.
Yeah.
And for his kids' future, So I try to tell him, but some people just don't want. They just don't want anything you have.
Yeah. And I think it's like we're sort of, or I know here when I was in high school, you were sort of told like investment is putting money into shares, to stocks. That's investment, and that's it. Or you go out and buy real estate. And
Yeah, I mean, no one asked me, or I never told anybody what I wanted to be when I grew up. I mean, make believe firemen, but people actually become firemen. Astronauts, but I think people become astronauts. I never thought I would say, oh, I'm going to invest in cryptocurrency. What's cryptocurrency?
Yep. Yeah.
So, but no one teaches you money in school.
No, not properly.
I mean, they teach you how to count it and how to write it out in the decimal point and what the hundredths and 100,000ths, whatever. But they don't teach you how to let your money work for yourself.
Yeah. Exactly right. Exactly.
Or let the money work for itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, what's that term called? I used to say it all the time to my buddy to rile up his feathers, What's that term where your money's making you money? It's over here, but it's not your labor gains. It's what's that term? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know which one. Your money's working for you, is that what you mean? Your money's making...
It's working for you. Money's making money, you don't have to do nothing with it. I forget what it's called anyway.
Yeah.
See, I'm not that smart.
You're smart. You said
maybe that's why I want to. Maybe that's why I want to go over to with the corn people.
Yeah.
And I'll fit right in.
All right. So, is there anything else you wanted to discuss, or I mean, we've sort of covered everything on our original sort of topic board we had written up.
We covered all four things.
Yeah. So we've talked about Digibyte as a whole, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Digibyte as the big three. Mass adoption. We spoke briefly about DigiAssets. I mean, I think just back on DigiAssets.
DigiAssets. We haven't really nailed anything with DigiAssets that had that wow moment for your viewers. Are like, wow, DigiAssets.
Yeah.
Oh.
If people haven't, I'll put a link in the description, but you've got to check out A, the hot potato asset, and B, the created DigiAsset website, and you'll see how easy it is to actually, create these things. It's going to be pretty wild. So I see like they're in. I was reading an article the other day from VeChain, and
yes.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with anything they're doing at the moment, but
I'm familiar.
So I live right near the Barossa Valley, so we have red wine goes all over the world from here, and especially to China. And they just implemented a NFC sticker that goes on the wine bottles. I actually didn't know, but wine coming out of Australia that goes into China, about 50, I can't remember if it was 50,000, I'll put a link in the description as well, but I think it was something like 50,000 bottles last year were counterfeited. So, because it's such
From Australia?
When they arrived in China, so they...
Somewhere from Australia to on the shipments to China?
Well, when they arrived, someone took some of them and then counterfeited those, about 50,000 bottles, and put them out into the market as real bottles.
Do you know if those shipments go to Hong Kong?
They would go through Hong Kong, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're messing with some, some gangsters up there.
Yeah, definitely. So...
Some kind of like... drug lord gang up there going on, capitalizing on everything that comes in.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't put it past them.
No.
So, VeChain come up with this NFC device. So you can track the bottles, get all the way to the store, the retail outlet. With the NFC,
okay.
You take out your phone, scan the sticker, which has got the chip in it, and it tells you A, that it's a legitimate bottle that's come all the way from Australia, and it tells you the whole like the production, everything through from the original production through to the delivery to the store, so you know it's a legitimate bottle. Because people are paying like upwards of $1,000 for one bottle of wine. So you buy a counterfeit, it's like crazy. But then I was thinking like something like that could be implemented on DigiAssets, because you could have assets for those bottles. Now, it's not going to be the same with an NFC sticker. Maybe it will if someone implemented it that way. But you can account for that whole shipment with DigiAssets, essentially.
So if you had an asset, one tokenized asset on each bottle, like kind of like a QR code or an address searcher, where you can see this is legitimately what it is, but you have to create a seal on it.
Yes, so whether you do that with some sort of NFC device, or it could be a QR code type, but you could have those, say it was 50,000, you've got your 50,000 shipment, when they arrive on the other end, the receiver is going to be able to send those assets back to you. So you know that transaction's gone all the way through. It's legitimate, and then people can still do the same. They can see the transactions.
Maybe if there's some way that the asset is inside under the cork, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe that technology from VeChain or Wabi, I think Wabi's doing it too, or Wyobi or Wabi. If the seal's broken, then the asset's destroyed.
Exactly.
With the chip.
Yep, there you go.
And the asset's worthless. But if it's there, then yeah.
You know, and you can see.
You can confirm it.
That's right, you can see transactions. So that just got me thinking, like, it's going to be it's going to be pretty good. I think there's going to be some good things coming out of it. I was speaking to Josiah the other day actually about how to, because at the moment if you have an asset, I can send you an asset and you have to accept it. You can't say no. It's going to, if I send it to your address, it's going to arrive in your wallet. So we sort of were speaking about what would stop me from sending you 10,000 assets if I wanted to. You can't do anything about it. So I think one of the issues they have with Ravencoin is that there's a similar, I'd have to look into it more, but there's a similar sort of assets type layer built on top of Ravencoin, and people are just spamming it. So they're sending like just almost like spam email to your wallet with these asset types. So I don't know if there's a solution yet for digi assets, but that's something we.
You mean people can host on that message or asset and spam you?
Yeah, because like for example, now if I know your wallet address, I can create an asset and I can send it to you, and there's no way for you to not accept the asset.
So, but the thing with DigiByte is here's a solution.
Mm-hmm.
The asset knocks on the wallet of your or knocks on your wallet and says Digi asset wants to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Then you put in your password to allow it to come in. Just like if Josiah is listening, just like if before you send your coins to another wallet. And by the way, DigiByte is like the fastest, okay, confirmation. But if you send coins from your wallet to another wallet, you have to punch in your PIN, or your thumbprint or whatever to confirm the send. So same thing with receiving an asset. You can confirm it or not confirm it, and basically maybe some way. I don't know if Noah or whoever created the asset protocol itself, if you reject it, you get sent back or just completely burn it. But the thing is what if it's a distress signal and someone's sending all their assets? And when this thing evolves, and it maybe just gets stuck on the blockchain, and at any time you can access it if you choose to.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
Maybe put it in a vault. Maybe you put it in DigiVault or something. Like, okay, I don't want these assets, but you know what? I don't know who's sending it. I'll send it to my DigiVault. And just lock it there until, maybe something in the news has, hey, I know that person. Hey, that person was giving me some assets. I didn't want them, but I got them in this vault over here. I'll just open up the vault and receive the asset, and it could be precious information.
Interesting thought. What Josiah briefly let me know that they were talking about maybe doing like a whitelist, like a contact whitelist, where you could set your own addresses or people that you will accept assets from, and then you'd filter on the others. So if you and I were sending regular assets back to each other, rather than confirming every time, we whitelist each other. We can send between me to you, but if someone else tries to send to you, then until you put them on your whitelist, you have to confirm that.
My thing is, I want to do away with emails altogether. Emails are just such a pain. I mean, email this, email that. We need to know your email. But my thing is, how are you going to? I don't know why I went on that tangent, but how are those people trying to give you an asset they don't even know who you are? How could someone find you to even give you a digi asset?
True.
I mean, that's basically being spammed. Like,
exactly.
Well, the thing about DigiByte, I don't know where you guys' conversation was going with it, but the way I understand it, it would have to be somebody I know.
Correct.
Recurring payments, or and it's only sent one way. If you're making payments, it's only sent one way. They have your address, but there's got to be some kind of solution to protects the user from any, messages unless if they want to receive them, or, like a bill, like, hey, you still owe this. No. It's confirmed and agreed upon on the blockchain that I only owed you this.
Yeah.